You ever transfer a user from one component to another? I know, silly question, right? Because this is such a common task. We can either use the transfer function or the generate component portal URL function. So the other week, I had to transfer a user from one component to an activity guide. Simple, right? All I need is the menu, component, and market. A simple PeopleCode one-liner, and I should have been there. Well, not exactly. The typical PeopleSoft URL, for example, this homepage URL, contains a menu, component, and market. Now, let's compare that to an activity guide's URL. Same thing, menu, component, and market. So we could use the generate component portal URL function to generate the base URL, but wait, no wait, there's more. The activity guide framework needs to know which activity guide template and what instance. That is the purpose of these additional query string parameters. So here's what that might look like in PeopleCode. We'll start with the generate component portal URL function. Let's paste this into a text editor. We'll replace the portal with the local portal. The menu, we'll grab that from our URL. We'll leave the market unchanged for the global market, and then grab the component name from the URL as well. We'll set the page name to blank and the action to update. This will generate a URL to the activity guide framework, but not to a specific activity guide instance. Basically, this gives us a URL, but it's not enough to load the activity guide. So to finish, we have to append the additional attributes. And we'll grab those from the URL. Now, this is a reasonable working solution, and in fact, I've seen code like this in many production systems. But I have a couple of concerns with this solution. First, it's a bit long-winded, and it's definitely static. I mean, just imagine the lifecycle management if we were to change the activity guide's parameters. And second, and this is the part that concerns me the most, this code violates the dry principle. Don't repeat yourself. You see, PeopleSoft knows this activity guide's full URL. I just need to ask. I mean, I launched into this activity guide from a tile, so it knows the URL. And that tile's target is stored in a content reference. So let's open structure and content and take a look. I'm going to drill into fluid structure and content, fluid pages, developer homepage, and then portal. And you'll notice the name here. And down in the URL information, we see every attribute necessary to regenerate this URL. So instead of using the generate function, what if we used the Portal Registry API? Here's an example of what that might look like. First, we get a pointer to the current portal. Now, there are other options and functions if we need a different portal. Next, we ask the portal for a content reference, and we ask by name. Once found, we can use the URL to redirect the user or generate a hyperlink, and so on. Now, some components don't have content references. And in that case, we would definitely use the generate functions instead. I mean, after all, we can't ask the Portal Registry to tell us something it doesn't know. Now, you may have noticed the activity guide scenario we used for this example looks a lot like a navigation collection. That's because it is. A navigation collection is a special purpose activity guide. We cover new features such as activity guides, dashboards, and navigation collections in several of our courses, and we would love to show you how to use them. Our live virtual studio is ready to host your next distributed remote training session. Contact us and we'll help you assemble a training plan. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more content. and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.